Will they stay or will they go? Electric scooters flooding the valley in recent months, but some cities are now either banning them or seeing companies leave on their own. Tonight, ABC 15 investigator Dave Biskobing reveals many people getting badly hurt by these scooters.
Yeah, how many? That's what public safety officials and hospitals are working hard to figure out. A warning, though, some of this video is pretty gruesome.
They're stacked up on sidewalks across the valley. E-scooters, ready to use, with the tap of a finger and swipe of the foot. And they go fast, 15, 16, 17 miles an hour. And that means if you crash, well, you get the idea.
So I broke a couple of bones. I broke the cuboid bone and actually the surrounding bone in my foot. I had to have 4 screws installed to separate those bones. I broke my thumb, had a black eye, scrapes and bruises and bumps and all of that.
That was almost 3 months ago, and Michelle Inskeep is still recovering.
So how long would you say you were on that scooter before you got hurt?
Less than a minute. I was gonna hit a curb and mistakenly put my foot down and I fell.
The ride cost her about $1, but the medical bills,
$65.50 out of pocket.
Consider that one expensive injury tax. And scooter injuries are beginning to tax area first responders, especially in Tempe around Arizona State University and Mill Avenue.
It's getting close to about 1 a day. On average, it's been about 29 a month.
29 fire rescue calls a month for scooters. And Tempe knows that because they set up a specific way to track it.
Ours goes through whether it was physical or not physical injury.
This firefighter gave us a demo showing us scooter calls are so common, they now have their own tab, like car crashes and chest pain.
Tempe Fire is the only department we found so far specifically tracking scooter injuries, but that's changing. Mesa says they're starting to, and in Scottsdale, they're working on it as well.
It's here in the Old Town area where Michelle got hurt. She's had to relive the injury ever since it happened.
I answer this question 5 times a day, every day, about what happened to me, and almost always someone has their own story.
Someone they knew where they got hurt.
Right.
And then sure enough, during our interview, a security guard from Michelle's work building interrupted us.
You just interviewing her because I know 2 other people.
3 people in the same building at the same time recovering from scooter injuries. Minutes later, our new security friend appeared, walking over with the slinged man to our interview.
Oh no, oh yeah.
Meet Terrence.
I fell forward and I pushed the elbow out of socket.
He says at the hospital he learned he wasn't alone.
The crew that I had of nurses and doctors, I was the 3rd person that day.
This new study from UCLA Medical Center says the scooters will have a substantial impact on public health, and found 1 in 3 people in area scooter accidents were injured badly enough to require treatment at an emergency room. It doesn't surprise doctors at Scottsdale Osborne, where, ironically, we found several scooters sitting outside. Inside, we spoke to Dr. Kaveh Najafi, interim director of the Trauma Center.
We've seen 19 related specifically to scooter injuries.
19 cases just in the Trauma Center. In their regular ER, they're still working to fully track scooter injuries, but say there have been many more.
The worst injury we've definitely seen is a young lady came in, took a tumble, and had a intracranial bleed. So she had a subdural bleed that required evacuation and a craniectomy the same day.
What does that mean?
Meaning they removed part of the skull and had to stop the bleeding and remove all the blood that was there.
Considering that, Michelle considers herself somewhat lucky, but by sharing her story and her injuries, she hopes others now consider the risk.
Well, I will tell you that I'll never ride one again. And I tell my friends the same. I think that they're dangerous. It's just kind of things that people just think, oh, I'm just going really quick for fun, and it can turn into a lot worse.
The scooter company is also facing a major class action lawsuit in California right now for maintenance issues, injuries, and other problems.
And if you have a tip or problem with these scooters, contact ABC 15 investigator Dave Biskobing.